Sarah stared at her computer screen, eyes burning. It was almost midnight. For hours, she had tried to fix the code for her school project, but nothing worked. "This is impossible," she whispered. Her roommate Emma looked up from her book. "Still stuck?" Emma asked. Sarah nodded. "The presentation is tomorrow at 2 p.m. I don't know what to do." Emma closed her book and walked over. "You've been working on this for 10 hours straight. When was the last time you took a break?" "I can't take breaks." "There's no time," Sarah replied, rubbing her eyes. "Actually, I read something interesting in my psychology class," Emma said. "Scientists have proven that good sleep helps your brain think more clearly and solve problems better. Maybe instead of forcing yourself to find a solution now, you should go to sleep and look at it again in the morning." Sarah laughed. "Sleep? With this mess? I'll fail the class." "Trust me," Emma insisted. "Your brain keeps working on problems while you sleep. It organizes information and makes new connections. People often find solutions after sleeping that they couldn't see when they were tired." Sarah looked at the clock. "I don't know. It's midnight now. If you sleep for 6 hours, you'll still have 8 hours before the presentation. But you'll be working with a fresh mind instead of an exhausted one." Sarah sighed. "Fine. I guess nothing is working anyway." The alarm rang at 6 a.m. Sarah woke up, surprised she had actually fallen asleep. She remembered dreaming about swimming in an ocean of computer code. She made coffee and sat down at her desk. Opening her laptop, she looked at the code again. "Wait a minute," she said aloud. Something looked different. The problem seemed clearer somehow. Sarah started typing. Within 20 minutes, she found the error, a simple missing bracket that was causing everything to fail. How had she missed it yesterday? When Emma woke up at 8 a.m., Sarah was smiling. "I fixed it," she said. "And I even had time to add some extra features. It works perfectly now." Emma smiled. "See, sleep is magical. I don't understand how I missed that error yesterday. I looked at that exact section 100 times, Sarah said. "That's the thing about being too tired," Emma explained. "Your brain gets stuck in one way of thinking. Sleep helps reset your mind and lets you see things from new angles." Later that week, Sarah met with her professor after class. "Your project was excellent," Professor Martin said. "One of the best in the class. What was your process?" Sarah smiled. "Actually, I almost didn't finish it. I was stuck on a problem and couldn't figure it out." "So what changed?" the professor asked. "Sleep," Sarah replied. "I was working all night and getting nowhere. My roommate convinced me to go to sleep instead of pushing through. When I woke up, the solution seemed obvious." Professor Martin nodded. "That's actually supported by science. During sleep, especially during deep sleep, your brain processes the information you've gathered during the day. It makes connections between ideas that your conscious mind might miss." "It felt like magic," Sarah admitted. "Not magic, just good neuroscience," the professor replied. "When we face difficult problems, our first instinct is often to work harder. But sometimes the best solution is to give our brains time to process. Sleep does that better than anything else." Over the next month, Sarah changed her habits. Instead of all-night study sessions before tests, she studied early and got full nights of sleep. Her grades improved, and she felt less stressed. One evening, she found her friend Tom in the library, looking frustrated over his math homework. "I've been working on this for 5 hours, he complained. "I just can't figure it out." Sarah sat down beside him. "Maybe you need a break. Why don't you go back to your room and take a nap? Look at it again after." Tom looked at her like she was crazy. "A nap? I don't have time for that. The assignment is due tomorrow." "Trust me," Sarah said. "I learned this trick the hard way. Sleep helps you solve problems. Scientific evidence proves that good sleep helps you think more clearly and solve problems better. When you're facing a tough problem, sometimes the best thing isn't to force a solution but to step back, get some quality sleep, and then you might find the breakthrough when you wake up." Tom seemed doubtful but agreed to try. The next day, he found Sarah in the cafeteria. "You won't believe this," he said, sitting down across from her. "I took a 2-hour nap like you suggested, then woke up and finished the entire assignment in half an hour. It was like my brain suddenly understood everything. Sarah smiled. Not magic, science. Our brains need rest to work properly. I've been doing it all wrong, Tom admitted. Staying up all night before tests, pushing through when I'm stuck. No wonder I've been struggling. It's counterintuitive, Sarah agreed. We think more time working equals better results. But quality thinking beats quantity every time. And nothing improves the quality of your thinking like good sleep. As they finished lunch, Sarah noticed her calendar notification. Another big project was due next week. Time to start early, she thought. And make sure I get plenty of sleep along the way.